in Bez Valley and surrounding areas remain in limbo over the water supply after a foul smell was detected from the taps in the area. Johannesburg Water says tests have been conducted and no E. coli has been detected, indicating there's no fecal contamination. However, despite these findings, residents say there has been little communication on when it will be safe to start using tap water again. The utility says water quality is improving, but the affected area remains isolated until the system is declared safe. Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Mkhoali joins us now live. Veronica, very concerning developments in Bez Valley, especially because residents there don't know when they can start using tap water again. How long has it been since the water has been contaminated, and what are residents saying to you?
Well, certainly, Nompumelelo, I think it's worth noting that this area in itself is already an area that has an intermittent supply of water. Residents have shared with me here that while you won't have a full supply of water for even a week, sometimes you'll see that there is sometimes low pressure. And so even that scarce amount of water having been contaminated, this is, of course, following a damage to the water pipeline where a sewer manhole essentially spilled into that pipeline, into the main network, supplying clean water into this particular community. And this, to remind viewers, happened last month. It was around, in fact, the Christmas week, where residents were smelling that foul smell coming out of their taps, and that, of course, flagging the issue to say there may have been a cross-contamination. I'm going to speak now to the councillor of this particular area, just to give us an update, essentially, firstly, as to what actually happened, because what we understand from Johannesburg Water is that they have been able to somewhat continue to flush out the system, but they say it still remains a particular concern here on 10th and Albertina Sisulu Road, and that is exactly where we are. Councillor, thank you so much for your time. Just take us a little bit back about the crisis that your residents have been experiencing. You've told me that this incident has affected plus minus at least 3,000 residents of this area.
Yes, good morning and thank you. Okay, so this particular spot where I'm standing has been a problematic problem for quite a long time. Pipes keep on breaking. So not so long ago they did a repair and there was still a big crater here. And then just over 2 weeks ago, there was a pipe burst behind me. And next to the pipe burst, there's also sewer manhole. So what happens is the sewer got blocked, and then it filled this crater up full of sewer. And then when they closed the water to repair the pipe 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, then the sewer went into the main supply line. That means that people started opening water and there was bad smells coming out. They started complaining, and then Joburg Water came out and started taking tests and realized that there was sewer in the pipeline. Then of course they had to unblock the drain first, drain the sewer from this crater, and then they started doing the repairs. But now after the repairs, they couldn't just open the water to the residents because they realized that they had to flush the system. And they flushed the system, but the problem here is that, number one, it took them 2 weeks flushing the system, and that means no resident had water for 2 weeks. The communication from Joburg Water very lacking. I mean, we on the ground, I'm talking to thousands of residents on an hourly, daily basis, sorry, not on an hourly, but on a daily basis, several times a day, warning them about the not drinking water, giving them updates, and then I had to start organizing water tankers for the area as well. So for 2 weeks, thousands of residents had to collect water from water tanks, with water running down the street for days and days on end with them flushing, which I got no problem with that. But my problem is that communication from Joburg Water and proper organization should have been in place. They should have been picking up a phone every morning or twice a day and giving me updates on how the testing is going, what's the next plan, etc., etc. They didn't do that. I had to ask and I had to beg for this kind of information.
And just to understand as well, so all of this is essentially a crisis of infrastructure. We're having a damaged pipeline, a manhole sewer as well that was seemingly overflowing.
That's correct. And besides the point, this section here has been so problematic that they should have replaced sections already. They come in here, they put a band-aid in the pipe, and 3-4 weeks later it bursts again. So this is why this place has been a hole here for so long, because it keeps on breaking.
And just an update now, Councillor, from Johannesburg Water. We were speaking a little bit earlier where you say there is a statement that they've given you that says, look, as they've been flushing out the system, doing the tests, making sure that the water is of standard quality, they are now saying that perhaps this is a good time for residents to start drinking the water.
Yes, I did get a written confirmation from Joburg Water yesterday, stating that the water is, they gave me the green light that the water is safe to be used and to drink the water. So yes, they gave me the green light, but I had to beg for that information. It wasn't like just giving it. I had to ask them twice, Thursday and Friday. I had to ask them twice to send me the information and ask them, is the water ready to be drunk? Because remember something, this particular problem affected more than 3,000 residents. Because of the area that it covered. It's a high-density area. Poor people cannot go buy water, and there is nothing more heartbreaking than seeing old people, children, middle-aged people in a queue jumping on a water tank for water. It's heartbreaking to see that kind of thing in South Africa. In Johannesburg, the biggest city in South Africa, and you see people queuing up for water with a water tank. It's unacceptable.
Well, thank you very much, Councillor, for that update. Councillor Carlos de Rocha, they're speaking to us about the realities that many residents here in Bez Valley have been experiencing since that contamination. Johannesburg Water, of course, as we heard from the councillor, saying that the residents now do have the green light to start drinking that water. But the residents that we have spoken to say they are very skeptical in regards to doing that. They're saying that despite this green light, they are going to continue now to boil their water. In fact, one resident saying that she's willing to, in fact, wait just about 2 weeks to make sure that she'll be able to drink that water, given the fact that this cross-contamination, really the reason why they flagged it, saying that it, there was an issue in regards to the response, the communication, and so there are concerns in this community in regards to drinking this water. But from Johannesburg Water's side, they have done daily tests on this, even flushing out the system, as we heard from the councillor. We were here as well just yesterday to get an understanding of the community, and we could see those hydrants, just water gushing out of the system to make sure that they can, of course, improve the water quality in this particular area. But communication an issue, and residents again still skeptical in regards to being able to open up their taps, pour a glass in of water and actually drink it, saying that they're willing to wait a few more weeks or days but continue to boil it. Back to you.
And that skepticism, completely understandable. Veronica Mkhoali, thank you for the update.